Hi lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. So lovelies, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok, and I thought to share with you guys where, plant color people are really out to explain to us about the Neanderthals and about how they really associate with these people and their ancestors and all of that. Guys, I'm just gonna roll the clip as well as some of the stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment. We are just here for, educational purposes. Alright, lovelies, let's dive into it.
My God. So someone asked if I could do a video on Neanderthals. And I think I already did this video like twice already in the past, but I'll just do it again. Alright, so as y'all should know, scientists have found a new DNA called the Neanderthal DNA. And them finding out this DNA just proved that the stories of the Bible are actually true. See, if y'all have read the book of Enoch, y'all will see how Neanderthals came to be. The Enoch book is a lost book of the Bible. And there's also many, and I mean many books that have been taken out of the Bible. But if you read the book of Enoch, it will tell you how Neanderthals came to be and where this Neanderthal DNA came from. Also, scientists also tells you that every race contains Neanderthal DNA, except for one race, African modern descendants, aka black people. Scientists don't even realize that they're proving even more why black people are actually the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, the real Jews. One of the scientists was also caught saying that African modern descendants are actually the pure humans of the world. And that's not coming from me. They said that. And also, if you read the Bible, you will actually know that black people were the first creation. And no, this video isn't about race baiting or anything. It's all about telling the truth. So the Neanderthals came from giants. And the giants came from Nephilims. And the Nephilims came from the fallen angels. See, the Bible speaks about that the fallen angels were supposed to be protecting the humans. But instead, they began to fancy them. And they began to do sexual activities with the women and men. And when the fallen angels began to have sexual activity with the men and women, they created their own offsprings, called Nephilims. And when the Nephilims began to have children, they created the giants, like those of Goliath. And when the giants began to have kids, they created Neanderthals. See, when the fallen angels began to lay with the men and women, the humans, they created these different type of beings, which is sort of half human and half fallen angel. It mixed up the two DNAs. See, the Neanderthal skin couldn't be exposed to the sun, so they had to move to a colder climate. And guess where that was? AKA the Caucasus Mountains, which is where they got the word Caucasians from. See, these Neanderthal skin grew lighter and lighter, which created the lighter skin pigmentation, which a lot of these races and ethnicities carry till this day. That's why you will see till this day that a lot of people will say that the whiter skin pigmentation or the paler skins, that it's a mutation. Because everyone in the world was melanated at one point. That's why it's kind of crazy when I be seeing people argue about which land is theirs. This is our land. This is our land. Y'all don't even realize that all these lands originally started with all black people on them. Every Afro person in every part of anybody's land, Afro-Hispanics, Afro-Palestinians, wherever you are, any Afro person is the original people of that land. And it's crazy because black people get done the worst anywhere they go. And y'all don't even realize that that's really your land. But like I said in another video, y'all don't understand that that was one of the curses put upon us all as a people, along with many more curses. And this video was just about telling everybody the truth. I love you all, and let the truth set you free.
Everyone alive today, except those with exclusively African ancestry, has around 2% Neanderthal DNA. This means that when our species migrated into Europe and Asia, we bred with Neanderthals in a small but significant way. But this poses an interesting question. Are Homo sapiens and Neanderthals really two different species? On the one hand, as I discussed in my previous Neanderthal video, various morphological differences like skull shape, build, and thickness of skin and hair suggest separate evolutionary tracks. And yet, a widely used definition of the term species calls this into question. The biological species definition states that species are reproductively isolated entities. So, if two individuals can mate and produce fertile offspring, then they're classed as the same species. But, if two individuals either can't produce offspring at all, or can't produce fertile offspring, then they're not the same species. Modern genetics proves beyond doubt that Neanderthals did successfully breed with Homo sapiens. Therefore, according to the biological species definition, they can't be classed as a separate species to us. I consider there to be two strong responses to this argument. Firstly, there is growing evidence that infertile offspring were a common result of our sexual encounters. Therefore, interbreeding between Homo sapiens and Neanderthals was in fact often unsuccessful. Secondly, research shows that various species, including baboons, wolves, bears, dogs, and large cats, do successfully interbreed on a regular basis. In particular, it's currently estimated that 16% of all bird species interbreed naturally in the wild. Therefore, I don't think it should be a question of whether Neanderthals are the same species as modern humans. Instead, I think we should be asking whether the biological definition of species should be abandoned and replaced with an alternative.
The amount of Neanderthal DNA on Earth is increasing. Many people, including me, white ones, have up to 4% of our DNA that can be traced back to Neanderthals. And since the human population has now passed 8 million people, statistically there is more Neanderthal DNA from people like me who got it in me right now on Earth, because there's so many of us, than there was when Neanderthals actually existed, because their populations were so small. No one knows exactly why Neanderthals died out, but by studying their remains, they found that the males had very compact, muscular bodies. They would wear really interesting clothes, wear jewelry, even put flowers down for their dead. So I think that maybe Neanderthals died out because all the males were, I don't know, gay.
Why are we the last human species left? Why did the Neanderthals go extinct? I get this question a lot. I never felt like I could cover it in just 60 seconds, but now I have a little bit more time. While sapiens were evolving in Africa, Neanderthals were up north, and their climate was entirely different. They were dealing with the worst of the Ice Age, and this would come in cycles. So it's kind of like Game of Thrones with the long winter. There would be periods of thousands of years of extreme conditions that would really limit these populations. Population size relies on the environment. So Neanderthals just lived really spread out lifestyles, and they didn't have quite as large of groups as sapiens. As sapiens leave Africa, they begin quickly expanding and moving into this Neanderthal range. They lived in the same area of Neanderthals for probably at least like 30,000 years. So it's not like it was a quick war and sapiens were battling Neanderthals and sapiens were victorious. That's not what this was at all. Instead, it was probably a slow change in populations, and by the time sapiens had been there for 30 or 40,000 years, the Neanderthals had quite simply been outcompeted. It's not that simple though, because anyone who's watched my videos, you know that Neanderthals and sapiens interbred. The thing we don't know is how rare this was. One study tried looking at it through like a mathematical view, and they thought it may have happened 1 out of every 77 generations or so, so extremely rare. I don't really buy that though. We found the fossilized remains of a hybrid female whose parents were Denisovan and Neanderthal. Now those two species are a little bit more closely related than us, but the odds of finding that fossil shows me that these humans were probably so similar that this interbreeding, it probably happened more than 1 out of every 77 generations. The thing that could have thrown that mathematical model off is if not every offspring was equally fertile, and there are some indicators that this may have been the case, meaning when Neanderthals and sapiens interbred, the male offspring would typically either not be fertile, or there may have been complications where they really couldn't have even been born. We don't know for sure, but something like that could have had an impact as well. So the question was, why Neanderthals? Why'd they go extinct? Even though they may have had bigger brains, they made really good tools, they had culture, they cared for each other. Look at Shanidar 1. To put it simply, it's probably most got to do with the population, the lifestyle. what happened before we met each other. Remember though, we don't know for sure. This is something that would be really cool to find out, but like, there's some stuff we just don't really have ways to test, and this may just be one of them.
So lovelies, as you all know, there's a video I actually posted yesterday that talked about how the first people that actually existed on this planet Earth, I talked about the first people that actually existed on this planet Earth was actually people of a darker, complexion, according to science, and science has proven that, over and over again, just the way we have it in plants, animals, and all of that. And now, guys, I was just going through the, my For You page, and I just, saw these Neanderthals people, and this species is the kind of people that was gotten from these, giant people. And the history of giants actually, talks about how, about these, fallen angels. These fallen angels, we are supposed to go to earth, as they were supposed to go down to earth and protect people of the earth, like people, living on earth. But one thing led to the other, they were not, able to do such a thing. They decided to, get entangled with people living on earth, like, interconnect with people living on earth and all of that. So as a result, with that and the help of science, they were able to produce what they call these giant people. So now these giant people have to now meet with other races, or what I call other species, and all of that. As a result, they begin to produce different kinds of species, different kinds of human, and all of that. Before you know it, it has already migrated to what we know today. And now, when I saw the first video I stitched about the black sister talking about this Neanderthals, I was at the fact that okay, is a black sister, like okay, we everybody want to find our history, because majority of everyone actually know the history of the black people, like, and now sometimes I keep on asking myself, why is it that these people does not even have history, which I think they know about this, and they decide to keep on searching things themselves. And it's so satisfying seeing this explanation actually come from them. So these people these people actually have the DNA of these Neanderthals people, of these people that was gotten from giants, fallen angels, and all of that. If I'm not mistaken, if I am, you could just correct me in the comment section, because I said earlier on, I am not perfect there, and I am only here to also learn, as we all educate ourselves. So I think as a result, these Neanderthals of a thing, and all of them got to reproduce these people that we have to do as a pan-colored people, since this DNA of the Neanderthals cannot be found in any African descendant, but it can be found in them. That means as a result of that, and co-inhabitants, and they still have this percentage of the Neanderthals. A lot of people were like, okay, these people, where are they from? How were they formed? How were they in existence if they are not the first people to actually live on the planet Earth? Well, how did they come into existence? That's a video I posted where someone was asking a question: if Adam and Eve was actually a white person, which they are not, then how come there is a black person? And this perspective was actually it was actually corrected. The first people who we think that is Adam and Eve today, just the way they actually prescribe it in the Bible, showing us people that is so pan-colored. They are actually not pan-colored people. According to the Bible, they are the people, those people in the Bible, the people that is in the Bible, they are all people from the darker complexions. They are not like pan-colored, just the way we see in the movies, we see them in the books, storybooks, and all of that. So Adam and Eve was actually not maybe white people, just the way we all we are told, or the way we see it on Google, or anywhere, any book we read. The first people was actually them. Now the history is just a little bit of sometimes it's confusing, then we get to understand. So in my own understand, I think that since these people were not, since black people were actually the first people to, dominate earth, and God, decided to send these fallen angels, which with their science and all of that, reproduce, met with, and produced the giant, and the giants reproduce and produce. This is how they now got this pan-colored people. And there's another thing that is also confusing me here, which I also want someone to, educate I to, just like we used to do it with each other. I saw a video of Jane Elliott talking about how the first people that happens, there's nothing like race, like white or black or whatever, we don't have it before. And the first people that was on earth before was actually, darker people, but in a situation whereby they keep on going to the area that is dominated with a very cold environment, that the more further they get, the more whiter in complexion they become. Like all of these theories, everybody just come with their theories, and now I'm saying about these Neanderthals people and about how they actually have this DNA, which I think that this is actually the one that made a lot of sense. Because if you should tell me that the first people that was actually here, which we all are finding out now, was actually the people, darker, people, then comes the fallen angels, and then comes the reproductions, generation to generation, and they still have this DNA. That means this is actually the one that made a lot of sense, compared to the one that I heard, that the more you go to a cooler place, the more lighter you become, because there are a lot of people that are of a darker complexion that is living in those cold places. I'm not seeing them turning to white and all of that. Like, the science is just something. But the issue of this whole thing is that the truth and all of these things that was hidden before, and I have realized that a lot of people want to, even the pan-colored people now want to actually know where they're from. They are getting confused. They actually don't know where they come from, which it's a very good thing, because in all the things we do in life, it's all about, okay, black people, we are from we are just slaves, and we are just meant to keep on suffering and all of that. We are meant to be in a lower wherever, without even knowing about these other people, without knowing how their existence come around, even with the way at which we've been brainwashed in the past, trying to make us feel that we are just nothing, without their own existence. Because I actually saw a video where a pan-colored person was saying that if it's not because of them, people of my own type will not be in existence. And now the table is just turning, where I also saw that if not because of melanin, these people can actually not survive. Are you seeing what I'm saying? There are a lot of truths, there are a lot of history, there are a lot of things that is just coming out in this 2024 that I just keep asking myself, why is it now coming out? Why is it that after Putin has actually revealed this truth, a lot of people want to start, accepting the fact that this was just it? I saw a comment in my video. That was a video I posted yesterday. It was actually from a pan-colored person. He was talking about, okay, himself, he know that our Lord Savior was actually a black person. This is a comment from a pan-colored person in my video that I posted yesterday. He said that he knew that it was actually a black person right from when he was 4 years old. Then to tell you that these people actually knew this all this while, but they chose not to talk about it. They chose not to, they just want to flow with all the lies that their ancestors has already, told us. I was like, when I was reading that comment, I actually liked the comment. He was like, okay, the thing is that these people are actually using this form to keep on dividing people of my own type and pan-colored people. That he has known that our Lord Savior is of a darker complexion right from when he was 4 years old. And now this thing that they're doing is just an avenue for us to keep on not liking ourselves, or to keep keeping us to, be divided with each other, which I actually understand from his own perspective, and I actually appreciate that comment. He said that he feels sorry for himself and every other palm-colored person, that this will actually make them to be disliked, all because of what their ancestors has put us through, not because of what they personally have done to us. Because he felt that there are a lot of good people like him out there, which I must confess, there are a lot of palm-colored people whom it's so like they are so like straightforward, but it's just that they are very difficult to point out. But when you see such people, they are very rare. And such people, they try as much as they can to actually disassociate themselves with this negative type of people. We have seen them. They are full in the comment section. There are a lot of good, like, because they see what we do, they see our videos. Some of them just write messages and all of that. And I actually, understand from that perspective. But the problem is that the amount of people who do not want to see this, who they have already brainwashed, and it is just in them, there are so much. There are some. I know that this is going to also affect both the good ones and the bad ones and all of that, but this it's what it is. It's what it is. I just like the fact that this has actually come out in deep light. It's not something that is hidden anymore. It's not something that we just keep on suppressing this because there's nothing they can do to us. The truth has come out. There's a video I posted yesterday about a palm-colored person boasting that, oh my God, the black people should go back to their country. If they are the one that actually built America, why is it that Africa is not built? Or why is it that, he even called it country, African country, which is not even a country, it's a continent. So these are the kind of people we are talking about. They just key into what their ancestors have told them about people of my own time without even actually trying to make their own research or trying to know the truth. But they will just key into that. Okay, these people this is not their land. Meanwhile, the land that he's even spewing all this does not actually belong to him. Look at their ancestors. Look at them and how their existence. So how come they were able to inherit the land that he's talking about right now? Seriously. Anyways, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload the next one. In the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational, informative, purposes, guys. Please share this video, subscribe if you're here to do that, and I will see you, lovelies, when I upload my next one.